What up, YouTube? This is Daniel Rucker with Truth Table. Welcome to the table. Today, I'm bringing a topic to you guys that I know and believe that it's great for you gentlemen to hear. You guys gotta know. The $1,000,000 question is, what if men were honest 100% of the time, unapologetically, raw, uncut, direct? What would it look like? So what I wanted to do before I jump in this kitchen and gets cooking, I wanted to give you guys kind of a look into what spawned this particular topic. Was a TikTok that I came across that just was downright hilarious in my opinion. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and run the clip.
Take you, Danielle, to be the biggest fucking mistake I've ever made. With this ring that your ass didn't earn, I plan to forever go in debt. Baby, as I stare at you in this beautiful white dress, all I can think about are all the bad bitches I'm gonna miss out on because of you. I promise to snore loud and take all the covers, piss on the seat, wall, and floor in the bathroom, and pretend to listen to you when you talk to me about shit that I don't care about. As your lawfully wedded husband, I promise to put up with your crazy ass as best as I can without shaking the shit out of you. I promise to hide as many naked pictures in my phone as possible. And as I stand here pretending not to regret the shit out of this decision, I can't help but to think about all my family and friends that told me, keep your heart, 3 Stacks, keep your heart. Hey, keep your heart, 3 Stacks, keep your heart.
I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. It's hilarious to me. But I wanted to talk about this today. I think it's very important because a lot of times when you get into this, relationship space, what'll happen is that as men, you'll always hear women being like, why can't men just be honest? Why can't they just be raw? Why can't they just speak their truth or tell us what they're really thinking? Well, you know what, gentlemen? I'd have to say it, and you're not going to hear me say this often, but they're right. Why can't we be honest? Why can't we be more direct? And what does that look like if that is the case? If more men were to practice this whole, delivery of their truth, the delivery of what they really thought, the delivery of their outlook or their perspective, how would that create different dynamics? That's why I wanted to talk about it. See, I believe being a man, a part of that is being able to hone this very skill in itself. Is that as a man, you have to be able to convey your thoughts, speak, your outlook, your perspective, and do it in a way that is not to necessarily gain the approval of the audience that you have. See, sometimes you have to be able to say what it is you think, put it out there in the atmosphere, and leave room for the critique, leave room for the response, leave room for the dialogue. And it's no different in a relationship. I was having a conversation with a young man earlier today. I know you guys appreciate this. That's what we're gonna do. And we already in here. You know what I'm doing. I'm over here. I'm cooking. Turned on all the butanes. Everything is cooking. Everything is brewing. So we're in here. But anyway, story time. I know how you guys appreciate story time. So it's story time. I was having a conversation today, and it was pretty, long conversation, but I'm gonna spare you all of the details. But one of the things that stood out about the content of this conversation was that the young man that I was speaking to seemed to be struggling with the fact of his position in a relationship and how he could establish more of a solid position of respect. What I had asked him was, well, what did he want? Ultimately, what did you want? What is it that you wanted to gain from this so-called respect? And what I discovered in this conversation was that he didn't do what the young man on the clip in the TikTok did. He didn't set the truth of the foundation. He didn't lay the pipe, fellas. I know a lot of times we would hear these terminologies as men, dude, you laying that pipe, or I see a lot of my Latin brothers, they do this, or things like that, all those gestures. And I think that men sometimes are focused on the wrong type of pipe. See, one of the things I learned dealing with, a lot of different females was that it was never about the physicality per se. It was more about the pipe that should be being laid down at the foundation of how you're conditioning this young lady to think. It's how you are introducing her to your outlook, your perspective, your viewpoint, your thoughts, your scope per se. See, a lot of times, fellas, men do not feel it necessary to speak about what they think, how they see things, their perspective to women from a direct, honest place. Because most of us, if not all of us, have been socially conditioned to believe that when we say what we say, it has to be in consideration of how she's gonna take it or how she's gonna feel. I'm here to tell you that's BS. I'm here to tell you that you have a better chance of accomplishing and establishing what it is you're trying to create as a man by just being direct and being honest. Doing this creates the dynamic of, first of all, introducing her to how a journey into your mind, how you see things, how you think. Now, will this offend certain women? That depends on what you say. Will this may make them feel a certain way? That's possible. But see, fellas, that's a risk I'm willing to take. Because like I was even explaining to this young man, you are ultimately responsible for the experience of the woman in your life and how you allow her to experience you and how you choose to experience her. For those who, let me break it down a little bit further if I made it a little bit too broad. It is not just up to the female, gentlemen, to come into your life and just do awesome crap. If no one told you, I'm here to tell you, as a man, it is your job to teach, instruct, and guide her. That's your job. And a part of that job requires you to do one thing and one thing good. And that's be honest. Men have to be more concerned about laying the correct pipe, the correct foundation. If you want to lay bricks of knowledge. You want to lay a good foundation, lay a good foundation to where she knows she can stand on, because the words you speak to her, the insight you give her, the instructions that you give her are going to lead her to a life of ultimate happiness, bliss, success, and experiences to come. And that ties me into my next point. Gentlemen, the only way to do this successfully is to actually be that man. See, a lot of times men want to take a snippet of something, and don't get me wrong. I get it. But I also understand that that's where you have the posers, you have the phony ones, you have the men that are making us solid men look bad. See, gentlemen, manhood is not a snippet. Manhood is a journey. Manhood is a constant reevaluation of self. It is a constant awareness of self. It is a constant pursuit of developing the ultimate man that you are very much capable of being. You cannot be the best to her until you are the best for you. You ultimately have to be a solid being. You have to be the best version of yourself, as most people would say. And I know it sounds cliche, but it's very much true. A lot of what's happening in the space that is dating is that men are trying to instruct from a place of no experience, trying to instruct from a place of lacking discipline, trying to instruct from a place of lacking wisdom. And see, the problem with that is you can gain an audience, gentlemen. Oh, you can get a few girls, you can get a few women to listen to you, but only for a season. What you ultimately want is you want to be able to impart information into her. Tell her truths about things. Tell her truth about life. Tell her truth about yourself. Tell her truth about the way the world works. Tell her truths about even her. This will ultimately change her life. This will ultimately make her more drawn to you. This will ultimately produce the type of respect that the very young man that I was speaking to earlier was referring to. There is no other way, in my opinion, that you can be best positioned to do this without this one key component. And that's telling the truth, being precise, being consistent, being unapologetic, and speaking from a place of honesty. So that's what I wanted to touch on today. That's what I wanted to leave you guys, I threw the clip in there and I hopefully it got you guys some laughs because it was hilarious to me. I thought it was going to be great. I'm like, yo, they're going to love this. So I hope you enjoyed it. For those of you who are just joining my channel, if you have not already done so, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. I so appreciate it. If you're joining the Truth Table family, you made a good choice. Go ahead and share the content. Much appreciated as we continue to grow this subscriber, following and whatnot. My goal is to hit 1,000 subs by January. Is it very much possible? I believe so. I'm gonna need you guys' help though. So go ahead and help me out. I appreciate it. And that's gonna be it. Thank you.